Awesome. I am so excited. Hello, my name is Jennifer Tom, and I'm with my friend,
Darlene Rempel.
and we are so excited. So, first of all, let's cheers to our coffee. We love to show up every Wednesday where we do grief talk. Thank you so much for all our friends out there who are sharing our resources, sharing our posts on Instagram and Facebook, and grabbing your copy of the book. Like we feel honored, blessed, and thankful. So today we have a question on the chat and would love to hear. It's gonna be it's just a great topic today, the power of communication. And I am so excited because last week, darling, we talked about the power of intention. And it was amazing. Darlene always shows up and shares her wisdom with us. She is a wise lady. So we are here to connect with you. We are your friends. So grab your coffee, give us a thumbs up, and let's go. I love it. Darlene, do you have something to share before we start?
Welcome. We're excited about today and just talking about communication, and which is so important, how we communicate. So Jen's gonna start off by sharing just some great insight on communication.
Perfect. So I hope that as you connect with us, you can get some ideas because we are here to share lessons learned through life and loss. So personally, I love to tell personal stories. Personally, I have a coach and I follow him. I've taken all his courses, and his name is Brandon Burchard, and I love his books. And we'll be sharing more about the books we read on grief, personal development, life, and we'll be sharing with you. But the power of communication, I learned from my coach that when we are communicating, we need to set an intention. And this ties in so perfectly from our last Wednesday's power of intention. So Brandon says, when you're communicating, set an intention. And he says there's three important intentions that we need to set. Number one, set an intention to learn. When you're talking to somebody, communicating with somebody, whether it's your partner, your friend, your child, set an intention you're going to learn. You're going to learn what are they saying, who are they, what are their desires. Isn't that powerful? I love that you set an intention to learn. So if Darlene is talking to me, I set an intention. I need to learn who is Darlene. Powerful. Number two, set an intention to honor. Oh, I love that. Have you experienced where you're talking to your friend and you can tell they're sharing a deep secret, they're sharing their deep pain? It is important to honor them and just say, thank you, darling, for sharing that. Please set an intention to honor the people who are communicating to you. It is so powerful. It changes relationships. And number three, improving. Set an intention to improve. So for example, if someone is communicating to me or you, we need to set an intention. What idea or what can I say to improve what they're telling me? So that's what we'll be exploring today on our power of communication. And I'm so excited because Darlene has something amazing to share with us. But as we go through this, let's think about we need to set intentions when we are communicating. And number one is learn, honor, improve. Yeah! So, Darlene, share. Oh, I'm so excited because now we're going to move power of communication, communicating about grief and loss in families and our kids. How do you communicate that? So, with that intention, how do we move to grief? Darlene.
Well, communicating in families is so important, because our kids, or as kids, or our kids, they learn from us. It's called influential learning, where they see what we're doing and then they imitate what we're doing. So how we handle grief in our family is so important, because we are teaching our kids. And when we don't intentionally communicate about grief, they often, our kids take a different meaning, or develop their what they learn about grief and take a different meaning. So just one quick example. So let's say you never cry. So when I was growing up, my mom never showed sad emotions, and so even when people died, when her parents died, there was no crying. Like, she didn't cry in front of us. I'm not saying she didn't cry, but she never cried in front of us. So what we learned, what meaning we took as a kids, is that we shouldn't feel bad about a death, right? Mm-hmm. We shouldn't cry or show others. So we learned two things. One, we shouldn't. We don't need to feel bad. And the other thing, if we do feel bad, we should hide. So we should grieve alone. So those are just two examples of how our actions can affect our kids. And so when we aren't intentionally talking to our kids about grieving, about crying, that it's okay to cry, or listening to them when they cry, we're actually giving them other meanings.
Oh, so powerful. How many of us have heard, like, how many of us have experienced that? Just give us a thumbs up. Yes, I like that, darling. What was communicated to you about loss as a child? I love that, because I know we've had so many questions about how to handle grief with kids and all. Yeah. And we're here today to just give you a few nuggets that it is so important to be intentional how you communicate to your child or to the kids in regards to grief. And we also have to be in tune of how others are communicating to our children about grief. So being intentional. So I know, let's say, people feel like they need to tell the kids, oh, mom is in a better place, all that stuff. We need to change that, because what we tell them affects them in the future. Darlene and I were just talking about how people grieve as adults. It reflects how they were taught, or someone told them when they were little.
So the meaning you got out of what happened when you were little, that's how you grieve. And that's how you're going to teach your kids to grieve.
Yes. Anyway, we are just so excited. We love this because that's why we show up. We love to connect and talk about the elephant in the room. And that's why communication is so important. So another personal story. When I was younger and we had a tragic accident in our family, I remember nobody communicated. We didn't talk about it. And I know it's because the pain was too much to talk. And it was so painful that we didn't even have, like on our book, we have what to say and what not to say. We didn't even have anything to say. But that is, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that made our family build walls. You've heard us talk about walls. That did not help our family, because we have broken relationships now. So communication is so important. And that's why Darlene and I want to share with you what we've learned on how to communicate. It isn't whether it's in relationships, grief, loss, life. There's a formula. And we just gave you the formula. And I love Darlene will share also a personal story in regards to that. I can't believe we have only 1 minute left. Okay. Oh, share with us, Darlene.
So I get share. I think the most important thing that I've learned when working with people with grief is, again, there's just that simple formula. Listen, right? Listen, reflect back, acknowledge their feelings. You don't have to change them. You don't have to agree with them, but just acknowledge that and validate their feelings, that it's okay to feel that way, and that they have their own unique way. So listen, acknowledge, and then after you've done that, then you can maybe give a little, then you can share with them some things you've learned about grief. The most important thing is for you to learn about grief and understand grief, so that when somebody comes to you, or when somebody dies in your family, you can talk about it in a good way, a healthy way that actually improves grieving, that helps somebody through the grief process, instead of putting stumbling blocks and help and shutting them down.
So good. Told you guys, my friend here is full of wisdom, and I love her so much. So until our time is up, we'll see you next Wednesday. But I just want to leave you with this. Please, just take time to just think what was communicated to you about loss as a child, because that affects how you communicate or how you deal with loss in life. So would love to hear from you. Till next Wednesday, please check out our resources at our website, email us, and we love you guys. We love showing up. I think we need to extend. 10 minutes is not enough. We need to talk some more. But for the group that joins us at 1, join us for our private space. 1 p.m. Sign up on our website, and we'll keep showing up and connecting with you. Thank you.